there's all this other drama and noise is going on. It's hard to really look at her to see what the hell is really going on. She needs to stop. She needs to, she, well, quite, this seems to be a repetitive pattern with some of these people is the overindulgence in substances, the finding out something's, wrong, whether it's emotional or physical. And I think that she is probably running the game right now with it. I would say there's a lot more behind the story. And it's all fixing to come out. Like you guys are going to see, I don't know what the other substances are. I don't care I mean, I do care. I don't want her to do them, but I don't care what it is. That's going to come out. And then there's going to be something like legal. Like, I don't know if it's maybe she does that again. Somebody presses charges because she should have to pay the waiters or whatever. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, it's gonna embarrass the hell out of her. I think that will be the changing point. You want to know why? Because every other time, David, she was in control. She may have been belligerent drunk. She was in control. She was calling the shots. This one, she ain't gonna be able to call shots. She will spiral.
Yeah, and to be clear, like I wasn't implying she was drinking because I mean this heavy
Oh no, I know,
drinking,
I know,
this
I
has
know.
been
Yeah.
like a decade to 2 decades, you know?
Jeez.
Yeah, no, it's bad. I
That's got to
mean,
be miserable. Think about the person who's doing it. That's sad. Makes my
I've
heart hurt.
always said like you can't, I mean, what do I know? But I don't think if you are a true heavy drinker of any substance, I mean, maybe I'm just boiling it down and what do I know? But you can't be happy in life. You're obviously
No,
trying to
no.
drown out life.
We're trying to drown out the noise. And,
Correct.
I grew up in a family full of alcoholics. My daughter died of alcoholism. My ex-partner was an alcoholic. And the one thing that I have learned from that is at first you get really pissed off just as the person standing on the outside because you're making the choice. But then as it starts to get worse and you start to see the spirals, you realize that some people are just so soft in this world, they don't know how to react. They don't know how to deal because life isn't easy. It doesn't matter who you are or where you're at. Life is not easy. And I just think that sometimes, um, you're right. Drowned it out is the word you used. And I think you're right. And that's that sounds like a good name of the book, Why They Drowned It Out. But yeah, that's great. Yeah, makes me
Yeah.
sad, but yeah.
It is right. So I mean, like, look, I don't. Yeah, I mean, you are soft, and because I mean, really, under it all, she technically wouldn't hurt a fly. Now, I'm not giving her a
Right.
pass because
No, right.
nobody wants to be around me because I am all about tough love, and I'm not saying that's how
Right.
you
Me
deal
too.
with. I'm just like,
No, me too.
I mean, I would do it if it were someone in my family. I would give them tough love. Like, I
Yeah.
get it. People are softer in this world. Most people are softer than me because I'm just like God knows what. But no, I mean,
Oh, David, please. You're
well,
talking to a psychic. Whatever. Moving on.
why you think I'm a nice person under all this?
I do. I think that you are very tenderhearted, very empathetic, but I think that if you keep your guards up, because well, one, you don't want to get hurt. Please don't hurt me for saying this, but you don't want
No,
to get
I'm
hurt,
not going to
and
criticize you.
it's a self-defense mechanism, and it's a part of your cute personality because you are absolutely adorable. But I think that tough love should be an everyday thing for everybody because this whole thing, patting people on the back, it doesn't do anything but make the problems bigger. It's when you say we're not fucking doing this, pardon the French, we're not fucking doing this. And you're either going to get help or you're going to fall on your face and it's your choice. That's where you start to see people take responsibility for themselves. And then if they don't, they have to deal with the consequences. I'm for that. I will love you as you fall.
I would agree with all that. I would never get mad at you for feeling psychic energy from me. Your reading of me is very accurate. I'm not disagreeing that it's a defense mechanism and I don't want to get hurt. I also don't have the time to get hurt, but it is part of my charm. But I still would rather be this way with my cold black heart than an empathetic. Like I've said this before. I am because Psychic Raquel told me on the show that she sees me as an empath. I am very
Yeah, I do
empathetic.
too.
That's why I can do this job well. I can put myself in a lot of these people's scenarios. I'm just not sympathetic. There is a difference.
Well, there is a difference. You can love
Thank you.
somebody. See the difference. Let me tell your clients really or your people really fast.
Yeah,
The
tell me.
difference is An empath can feel the emotions. They know what you're going through, and they
Hmm.
can empathize, saying that's horrible. Um, on the flip side of that, not being, we're not coddlers. You can't be a coddler. What was the other freaking word you used? I forgot. Empath and what?
Sympathetic.
Sympathetic.
Yeah.
Is sympathetic. It is a totally different thing than empathy. Empathy, you can empathize, you feel for them, but you're also not going to hold the door, open so they don't run into the wall. You're going to let them run into the wall, and then you're going to say, "Did you learn anything?" That's the difference. That's the old school difference. Instead of patting somebody on the back and giving everybody blue ribbons, and that is the end of my spiel about that. But yes,
Listen, you're preaching. That's what I say. Right. I'm empathetic and I am not thrilled that this is what you're going through. I don't like
right,
it, but
right,
it's not a competition. But trust me, my life up to this point has not been a bowl of cherries either. I'm not going to
right,
bore you with that. It's like there's nothing I can do. Like you
right.
have to figure this out for yourself. Like I can
Yeah,
stay up for the next 40 hours with you without sleep. I can't lead you there. You have to figure
no,
this out. I'm
no.
sorry you're going through this. Life does
Yeah.
suck. It's hard. So
It life sucks, but
right?
life doesn't have to suck, because if everybody would just take responsibility for their own shit, and
Yes.
then if you need help, reach out instead of falling first, reach out, life would be a much better place.
And when you talk about that, my analogy is like, and I was the kid who finished last. I wasn't good in sports, but like when you had field day in school when you were young in my
Uh-huh,
generation, which I sound nine, and you came in last, you didn't get a fucking ribbon. The first place got a
right.
ribbon, the second place, and I got straight A's in school. Okay. So that was my thing. But, the dumb kids weren't given an A. And people like me were not given a ribbon for finishing the race last. Like everybody
Right.
does not deserve a ribbon. You suck
No.
in life at certain things.
Right.
Too bad.
Well, and exactly. Too bad. So sad. And it is hard on the kids and people in general, but it also teaches us
I
that we
agree.
don't have to be perfect at everything, and it is absolutely okay to step aside for somebody who is doing that sport, that thing a little better. There's nothing wrong with it. Go find your own thing.
I agree.
That's my
Before,
thing. But
and,
anyway.
and no, I agree. And before we move on to the last thing, when you said you find like people in her inner circle pulling away, there
Mhm.
is this rumor out there now too that like, so her daughter, her ex-husband, the Morgan guy, is
Right.
passed away recently. Now, I
Oh,
think the daughter is, I mean, the daughter's like in her 20s. She graduated UPenn. The daughter, I assume, has like a gazillion dollars from the
I'm
father.
sure.
There
Mm.
is this narrative, which has now started, that her daughter is distancing herself from her because she's starting to sense that her mother wants access to all the money, which is sad.
Well, it is, and I don't know if it's, I kind of feel like her mom just assumes that because her ex-husband has passed and now the daughter is super wealthy, that the daughter should just pick up the tab and do whatever and let her have some of the money because she was married to him and she's the mom, but that's not how that works. And I would say that's probably playing pretty hard on mom. But like you said, we're not, not everybody gets what you want. Just get over it and make your own way. And that's something very hard for her. I think. I think
And
there's going to be a big rift between the daughter. I think the daughter is probably truly going to not pull her love away. Don't get me misconstrued. She's just going to distance herself so that she doesn't have to take care of her mom. And she knows her mom's a freaking mess. I mean, if she turned over any money, that money's going to go to party, and it's going to go to things that is not, it doesn't even fucking matter in life. She knows that.
I think she
She knows
knows
it.
that.
Hmm.
Last person, we'll do this one more quickly. So there's this woman, Bethenny Frankel. I don't think we ever talked about her either. She was born 11/4, 1970.
Hmm.
Got any feelings on how Bethany is doing before I get into some specifics?